and welcome to my 2015 reading year in review. Seriously, these are my favorite videos to film. Well, one of my favorite videos to film. This is the chance where I look back on an entire year of reading and I tell you guys my favorite books, my biggest disappointments, my favorite covers, and my author of the year. This is gonna be big, guys. But as always, and I've done these for quite a few years, I start off with a little highlight reel of what I did this year in reading. This year, I went to 2 different book launches, I spoke on 2 different panels, and I was an official Man Booker vlogger. I got to meet a bunch of really cool authors, including a new favorite, Lucy Nicely, and a famous Margaret Atwood. I was the host for the Fierce Reads tour on their stop in Toronto. I went to the Insurgent premiere in London, and we had another crazy, successful, awesome year for the Booktubeathon. Also, it's been a huge year for meeting Booktube friends. However, and this is big, I only read 25 books. Now I know, okay, I can appreciate that 25 books for the average person is actually quite a few books. Apparently most people don't even read in the year, but for me, that is one of the smallest reading years I have had in ages. It has been a small year for reading, but a big year for events, and a bigger year for I'm not sure what, but I wanted to escalate that point. So now, let us start with my top 4 favorite reads of the year. Number 4 is An Age of License by Lucy Nicely. This was a surprise. I just picked it up on a whim. It looked cute, it looked cool, and I just adore it. I love travel. But travel fiction isn't something I've super gotten into. I've read a few travel books. I always end up loving them. So I feel like I really need to get more into it. But this was fantastic. It is a travel memoir, but it is in graphic format. She is an illustrator that draws her adventures. I really loved that I visited some of the places that she's been, because it meant even more when I was looking at those illustrations and being like, I've been there in that drawing. I also got to meet Lucy Nicely and film a little video that you'll be seeing next year, and she was the greatest, and I really loved this book and kind of what it represented to me, because she had this Age of License traveling, and it was a lot like my year. Let's go on to number 3. Number 3 is The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up by Marie Kondo. Now the book itself was interesting and I read it very quickly. I enjoyed the book itself, but really it was more of the whole conversation around it. It really made me look at my stuff and be like, Ariel, you have too much stuff. This book again really represented a lot of the stuff that I was feeling in my life. After traveling so much and experiencing so much, I realized I want to have less stuff. So it just came at the perfect moment. I really appreciated a lot of the tips, tricks, and just general philosophy. On to number 2. Number 2 was a book that made me laugh hysterically, and that is Super Mutant Magic Academy by Jillian Tamaki. This is another graphic novel, shoot! It happens at this bizarre school where there's mutants and Martians and people with magic abilities, and it's hilarious and it's sad, and I just really felt it. I just really felt it when I read it. I was in it. I was in it to win it. I really appreciated it. I thought it was fantastic. And it's, you know what? It's not often that a book makes me laugh out loud. Like, there's a lot of the times where you're reading something and you find it funny and you just go, you don't even show it. It's funny in your brain, but you don't even show. This book made me laugh out loud. Like, I would just be chuckling. And it made me want to, like, I took lots of pictures and sent them to people because I was like, this is the funniest thing! The number 1 book. The time has come. I'm surprised. When I sat down to look at the 25 books I read this year, I saw this book and I realized it was the number 1 book. And again, shoot man, again, it's about the stuff it made me think about, the philosophies that stayed with me afterwards. And that book is Show Your Work by Austin Kleon. I know, who saw that coming? Who saw that coming? Nobody. This is basically a book of inspiration. It wants to make you be creative and it wants to encourage you to share your work, show your work. It is super cool. It has lots of quotes, pictures, ideas, concepts. It's really great. I annotated this book like crazy, and the thing is, out of everything I read this year, out of all of the books I read this year, and maybe even all the media I consumed this year, this is the one that I kept thinking about. This is the one that I kept implementing in real life. This is the one that made me change my habits and made me kind of do new things that I wouldn't have done otherwise. This is what made me start carrying around a notebook. This is what made me start change my blog and make it something that I actually want to post on. I love this, and I want to reread it, and I think you should read it. I think you'd really like it. If you even have a spark of creativity in you, you should read this, and it'll inspire you to go crazy with your creativity, because it really shows you you don't have to be perfect to create and to share. It was so good. I really liked it. And that's why it's number 1. Now we're on to the biggest disappointment of the year. An ugly category, but one that must be said because it's true. Sometimes you read a book and it's gosh darn disappointing. You expect it to be good and then it is not. And that was Armada by Ernest Cline. I was so pumped about this book, and I have been ever since I knew it was coming out, which has been years. I've been excited for years because I read Ready Player One in 2012, and it was, shoot, it was the best book of 2012. It was my favorite book. Wow! Ernest Cline from top to bottom in the Ariel year of reviews. I think that the idea and concept plot behind the story was good. It was interesting. But it was littered from top to bottom with obscure references that didn't add to the plot and just took away from the plot. The dialogue was cheesy, the relationships between the characters was dumb, and then just at the end the plot was dumb. It just... I wanted it to be good. Here's the interesting thing. Even though this book was a pile of sadness, I will definitely read whatever Ernest Cline comes out with next, because Ready Player One was amazing. And even through this whole experience, I felt the potential. I just feel like maybe he felt rushed. Maybe he should have taken a lot more time with this concept, really worked it into something great. But it wasn't. It wasn't! It wasn't! Ah! As for my favorite cover of the year, I'm deciding to go with Lost in Translation by Ella Sanders. This book is so pretty. It's so pretty. And the reason I decided to give it this award is because I bought it based on the cover. I was in Amsterdam, don't mind me, and I saw this book in the store and I thought it was beautiful. I picked it up, I flipped through it, the inside is beautiful too, and I thought, it's kind of expensive, I don't need it. And I walked away! I walked away. And then we were on another story of the bookstore, and I saw it again and I thought, damn it, you're beautiful, I want you, I'm taking you. Finally, it's time for the best author of the year. Now I thought I was gonna go with Austin Kleon until literally 1 second ago. I was standing here like this, ready to show you my winner. And this is who the winner was gonna be, but I just changed my mind. Right on the spot, alright? It's live. We're doing it live! This has inspired my favorite author of the year. That favorite author? Myself. This year I have filled notebooks with writing, which is something I have never done before. This is the year that I have written the most I have ever written, and more than that, is the year I've been the most proud of what I've written. I really like what I've written. I've been inspired by myself, I've been excited by what I've written, and so I'm gonna give myself the award in an odd turn of events. That's what I've decided to do. I've tried so many new things this year. I've written poems. I've never written poems before. Who do I think I am, a poet? Yes! And I've just had a blast. So, award, thank you. I'll take it. And that is the Reading Year in Review 2015 edition. This has been the best year of my life. I'll say it. I'll say it. It's been the best year of my life, and I cannot wait for 2016. Down in the comments below, let me know what you thought of my picks. Do you agree? Do you disagree? And let me know what your either favorite book of the year was or your biggest crushing disappointment. I love talking about disappointing reads. It's kind of really passionate for me. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and I really hope that you enjoyed this year on Ariel Bissett. I have a lot of stuff that I'm super excited about on Ariel Bissett for 2016, so I hope you'll stick with me. Alright, Happy New Year's everybody! Yeah!